What I'm doing here is I'm trying to give the message across about freedom and things, you know, the flag and things like that with my artwork lately. And it's because we've kind of steered away from that a little bit, enough to worry a little bit. And so I think it's time to really be patriotic with my artwork. As a little kid, I used to go up to my grandmother's house, which is about 1.5 miles away, up a dirt road and by a couple chicken houses and whatever. But they had a bell on a post up there. They used to use it to call their hands in from the working out in the fields or whatever, lunchtime, dinner time, whatever. But boy, every 4th of July or Independence Day, we'd run up there to ring that bell. They had a big bell on this post, and it was so much fun. And, you know, I was just, you know, just a little kid like, you know, maybe this little guy right here. And so all those thoughts and memories of the past when it was a good old US of A, you know, really, I really remember those things. And now, even more than ever, I want to do kids. And, you know, that's why I did the first piece I have downstairs of the you know, the buffalo hunters, these little kids, and an Indian boy and an old farm boy at the turn of the century with white man shoes on. Oh, I mean, it was just a great piece. And of course the old wagon. And that creates a problem, is when I do a piece like this of little kids, I always see something in history that I want to do and add to the piece. And of course my wife has already sold a pile of them. 2 days ago, my wife come up and says, you know, boy, I wish you could put a drum in there. And because, you know, they had little toy drums. And then I said, no, I can't do that because I'm putting a dog in there that's running away with his tail between his legs because of that bell ringing. And it's going to be out here just hightailing it, you know. Dog hightailing it. Yeah, okay, maybe that's where the word came from. Anyway, it's just running away full blast, and you know and then she comes up and says, you know, I wish you'd have a little toddler in there. I said, well, good. You know, I can put a little toddler in there saluting the flag that she's going to be carrying. I said, that'd be a wonderful idea. But then I'd have to get rid of the dog. I'd have to get rid of the drum. I never think about what my wife has to charge when she sells these things, and she doesn't a lot of times either. That's why it's such a good deal, and why people keep buying them, you know, is because I keep adding as I go, you know, and of course the price stays the same. So I haven't quite got the action in this boy yet because he's a little stiff, but I will have, and I'll have either one leg kind of up in the air. You know, when a kid pulls a bell like that, they don't just stand at attention and pull the bell. So I'm going to have that, you know, do some work on that yet. The other day I had this ugly old post in my mind. What am I going to do with that? Because it was just a post. And so I decided yesterday afternoon that I can put ivy on that. It's kind of crawling up the post and make it more interesting, you know, and so that's what I'll be doing. Of course, nothing is detailed. I just took some clay and stuck it here and there. The bell will be polished, and of course, it'll have all kinds of detail on this because I have a bell in the museum. I can go right in there and look at it for the detail and everything. I wish I had the old bell I used to ring when I was, you know, at 4th of July, when I was just a little kid, and people were getting out of the Army, Navy, and men were coming home to their kids. It was a wonderful time, and so this is what I'm trying to depict here is if I get that little toddler in there, which I think I'm going to do, and have her up there, you know, in her little dress saluting the flag that she's going to be holding here. I think it's just, you know, as an artist, you never want to do figures with just even numbers like 2 or. You always want to have uneven numbers. So by putting that little toddler in there, I have 1, 2, 3 in the family. And they are excited because their daddy's coming home.
I'd like to share with you why I love David's latest bronze called The Homecoming. I recently lost my mother, and I was left letters that were written from my mother to my father and my father to my mother in 1945. I'd like to share one of those with you. September 27th, 1945. My dearest darling. Hi, honey. Sugar baby, I hear a train going through. I wish you were on it. I do hope that you will be before long. I sure will be glad. I sure do miss you. Mr. Connor said he never did see anybody's rabbits and chickens as good as ours. They sure are nice. I hope you'll be home pretty soon. We sure do need you. Your loving wife to my darling husband. Honey, keep on praying. I really love you. My mother wrote this letter to my father, who was in a military hospital. He had been wounded in World War II. The two children ringing the bell in David's New Peace are so excited because the war is over and their dad's coming home, or their uncle's coming home, or their brother. Even though the children in the bronze are dressed in 1945 clothing, to me it represents all the families who have waded through many of the wars. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm. I can't wait for you to see the completed bronze, the homecoming. We all know David will have many surprises. And I hope it touches you the way that it touches David and me.
In addition to Homecoming, there are 3 other beautiful bronzes David created you might not have seen. Buffalo Hunters captures 3 best friends as they prepare for their big hunting adventure. It's the first of a series about children. 1812 depicts 3 members of the Astor Party who went from St. Louis to the West Coast in 1809 and founded Astoria, and then stopped at Hot Lake on their eastward trek home. And the 3rd bronze is Shoshone Moon. The love between these 2 is abundantly clear. A sister bronze called The Gift is at casting stage right now. When David was 9, he entered an art contest that was judged by famed artist Norman Rockwell. David's crayon drawing of a Japanese plane shooting down an American bomber changed his life.
I won this nice award, and it's signed by him. There's one more thing, is because I won that award is why Norman Rockwell means so much to me. And I was writing the time that I was going to make a trip and meet him before he died and tell him what his award meant to me. I mean, that's what made me decide to be an artist at just 9 years old. And of course, and he died. Then I have to tell you the other part of the story. When I was about 14 years old, my mother told me to clean the garage out. And, you know, I didn't really want to do it. So anyway, I did, and I took all those old paintings I did. I used to go down and raid the garbage can at the printers, at the press in College Place, because that was a type of canvas that were on books that I used to paint on, and I couldn't afford to buy canvas, so I painted it on books, you know, book covers that they threw away. I'd come home with a stack like that. You know, I didn't really want to clean that garage out, so you know what I did when I went out there? I picked up all those old paintings that I did when I was 8 and 9 years old that were painted on hardback book covers that they threw away at the bindery, and I stacked them up and went out to the fireplace, including the painting I did of the Japanese plane shooting down the American bomber, and I burned them all up.